What is going on, Moto friends? We are in the middle of December right now with the holidays coming up. So today I wanted to share with you 3 very cool motorcycle gadgets I just purchased. Now, these would be great for everyday personal use, or they could make a fantastic gift for your motorcycle enthusiast friends. All of the gadgets we're going to be talking about today are going to be for your motorcycle tires. Now, as motorcycle riders, we're already at a disadvantage compared to cars. Cars have 4 tires, they have better traction, so even if one of their tires is flat, they'll still be able to ride safely. But for us, it is very important to make sure that our tires are inflated to the correct pressure at all times. The 3 items I'm going to talk about today are a digital tire pressure gauge, a small battery-powered air pump that can store under the seat, and then finally, the thing I'm most excited about is this wireless tire pressure monitoring system. So my Ducati Monster did not come with a tire pressure monitoring system, so I'm really excited to see what this add-on can do. And just as a note, I am not affiliated with any of these companies in any way, and everything was purchased with my own money for personal use. I'm going to start with the smallest, cheapest item of the 3. This is a Husky DigiTire tire pressure gauge. Now it has a single power button. If you press it here, powers on very quickly, and you can see you can cycle between PSI, bar, kPa, and kilograms per centimeter squared. And when you turn it off, you just hold down the power button and it'll restart in whatever mode you had it. At the top, there's also a slider for an LED flashlight and an LED emergency light. The flashlight's pretty bright, easy to turn on. Looks kind of like this. Then the emergency light, just a standard red light here. Since this was made primarily for car riders, it also comes with a seatbelt cutter here and an emergency glass breaker you deploy like this. But I guess if you're a motorcycle rider, you could always use this for self-defense. I also love that it's small enough to fit under the motorcycle seat, even on a small bike like this. Using this thing is also super easy. You just press the power button to turn it on. It'll say 0. You take it, press it in, let go, and then here's your tire pressure, 35 PSI. I know, tire pressure gauges are not very sexy, but this one is very cheap, very small, and would make a great stocking stuffer or a small gift. So now let's move on to something a little bit more interesting, this battery-powered tire pump. This one is made by Moto and retails for $79.99 on Amazon, but there are cheaper options, but they just happen to be a little bit bigger than this unit. So I'm going to save you time. We're not doing an unboxing. I'll give you a hint. There's a tire pump inside, so let's forget that. Inside the package, you get a little instruction manual, a carrying pouch for the unit, the actual Moto unit itself, and then some odds and ends, a charging cord, a little ball pump, and then another tip for inflating rafts and other devices like that. So I'm actually really impressed by the size of this device. So I have pretty large hands, and this thing fits very comfortably in the palm of my hand. And as with the tire pressure gauge I showed you, it is small enough to fit under the seat of this Ducati Monster, which is very impressive since there's not much room in here. And since this is small enough to ride with, you can save yourself a lot of time. If your tire pressure is low, you don't have to go to a gas station where the pump may or may not work. You don't have to carry quarters with you for any pump. You just pop this under your seat or in your panniers or your backpack and just ride with it. It's also really cool that the hose is stored right inside this unit. Just pull it out here, snaps into place, and then you screw it in right before pumping up your tire, and then when you're done, just pop the thing back in for easy storage. Nothing tangled, no extra cords. It's pretty cool. Using this thing is also very easy. To turn it on, you just hold down the power button until the lights blink and it says on. And then you can see it has several presets. So it has a car preset at 35 PSI, has a motorcycle preset at 40 PSI, has a bicycle preset at 36.5 PSI, a ball preset at 8 PSI, and then a custom preset which is default to 100 PSI. So don't accidentally inflate your tires to 100 because that would not be good. And each preset you can easily change with the plus or minus button. So, if I start at 35, you can increase in increments of half a PSI to whatever your manufacturer recommends for your motorcycle tires. So let's see how this thing works. The recommended tire pressure for the front of my Ducati Monster is 33.4 PSI. So I set the gauge to 33.5 PSI. We'll take the hose out and then screw it in here. All right, that's easy so far. Take our little valve cap off. Then we'll screw this in. All right, and what is it giving us? It's giving us about 29.0 psi, so it is a little flat. So we press the power button, put it down. Let's see. Yeah, and it shuts itself off. That's fantastic. So you don't really have to guess. So, and then you just unscrew it and you are done. This is actually my first time using it, so I'm very impressed. Very cool item. And here's a little bonus, something I found hilarious when I was reading the instruction manual. Noise cannot be avoided during inflation. Well, obviously, it's a tire pump. Overall, I am really impressed with the convenience, the size, and the speed of this little pump. So I'd recommend it for really any motorcycle rider. This would also be a great present for anyone who owns a car because it's the same. It can pump up your car tires very quickly and conveniently. So the next item is one that I'm the most excited about. It's this wireless tire pressure monitoring system. So let's take a look at that. A wireless tire pressure monitoring system is something that's becoming more and more standard in cars, but is not very common in motorcycles unless you're spending a lot of money for a high-end motorcycle with high-end electronics. But if you have an older motorcycle or a newer motorcycle without tire pressure monitoring, you can get this aftermarket system. This is something I think would be important if you live in an area that has a lot of temperature fluctuations and your tires might lose pressure, or if you happen to be an off-road or ADV rider. You never know if you hit a small stone and cause an air leak. With this system, you can know your real-time tire pressure without having to check it all the time. So let's take a look at the product. This is the Sidekick Rider SRTP 300 tire pressure monitoring system. I bought this for $54.95 on Amazon, and given the low price, I'm really not sure what to expect, but we'll see together how good it is. So in this package, it has a little sleeve. I'll show you what's inside since it's a little more involved. But inside the package, inside this box, it's quite a bit of components. Now, instruction manuals here, we'll talk about that later. And then in the package, you get the actual display, which you mount on your handlebars, installation tools, mounting bracket, another little mounting bracket, and some extra batteries. These are the actual transducers that are going to go onto your valve stems. So let's read how to install it and put it on and see how it does. Something important that they note, please turn on the monitor first and then install the sensors. Otherwise, there's not going to be a display. And then 5 to 10 minutes of driving should show the pressure. So yeah, we might have to take a little ride together. So yeah, let's see how it works. Installation on this actually looks very simple. It has a mounting bracket for your handlebars like this, and they also provided a piece of rubber if it's needed as a spacer and to prevent scratching. So I'll probably put mine right here on the left side like that, and then I'll cut this piece of rubber to size to space it better. All right, now I have my little piece of rubber cut to size, so let's give this a shot here. So I'll go around here. Yeah, I think that will be good. Just put it a little more vertically so I can actually see the display. All right, it's going now. Now we can get the back side as well. It's nice that they provide the Allen key so we can tighten this up. I'm not going to tighten it all the way just to see what kind of clearance we have here. So you can move this a little bit over. Just make sure to avoid any of your reservoirs here. Just shimmy it over. All right, and that should work. So let me just tighten everything down and mount this. All right, now that that's tightened, we can attach the display. And again, they provide a little screw and washer that attaches from the back. All right, I think that looks pretty reasonable. So let's now attach the tire portion. I already turned the monitor on like they recommended in the instructions. Now it's time to install the actual sensors. You can see here that there's a rear and a forward one. So I'll start with the rear, and then the forward one I'll do off camera to save some time. With these, they recommend using a locking nut that's provided so that these don't fall off while you're riding. So let's install that first and then the sensor after. All right, super easy. And then we just tighten the locking nut back towards it so it doesn't come off. And they even provide a little wrench for that. Nice and easy. So I'll do the same with the forward and we'll see how it works. This is how they look when they're mounted. Very sleek and not obtrusive. Same thing in the front. You can see it doesn't interfere with the disc or the braking system whatsoever. This is what the monitor looks like, and it's blinking 0 because the instructions said I need to ride for 5 or 10 minutes. So let me put on some gear and put on my little Insta360 and we'll go for a little ride. So it looks like the rear tire already is showing me a pressure of 35. So let's see if the front tire activates at some point. Let's go for a ride. Tire pressure actually came up much sooner than the 5-10 minutes that they cited. It showed up about 1 minute into this ride. All right, we are back. So as you saw from the ride, it picked up the tire pressures very quickly. The front tire showing 33, which is almost exactly what we pumped it up to, and the rear tire showing 36, also very similar to what we got in the beginning of the video. It's also really cool. It shows you the temperature of the tires, with the front showing 50 degrees Fahrenheit and the back showing 54 degrees Fahrenheit. My temperature gauge on the Ducati is showing me 54 degrees Fahrenheit. So again, very consistent. Overall, I'm impressed with these little gadgets. The price, the size, the convenience are really fantastic. I'm really impressed by this tire pressure monitoring system. For $55, it is very inexpensive and provides high quality results. I can't talk about the long-term longevity of it. I can't tell you about if it's waterproof, how it handles in the rain. But for the time being, after first install, it is showing me consistent tire pressures and consistent temperatures. And for that, I think it could potentially be a very good product long-term. So if you have one of these as well, let me know in the comments, and hopefully this video was helpful. I'll definitely be doing more gadgets and purchase videos in the future, so if you like this type of material, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you later.